Welcome back, everybody. How's everybody doing today? On this, where'd it go? Where is it? I saw it. There we go. On this hump day. Good to be back. Last week of round one. You guys pulling up the rear, saving the best for last, so to speak.
Only time will tell.
We'll see.
Only time will tell. All right. So Chelsey, you watched last season and expressed some interest in being, and then you joined as soon as you got the opportunity. You joined right in. Joe, you kind of you showed some interest and wanted to be in, so we got you in. So I'm glad to see two newcomers to the show completely right here. I like that. And yeah, that being said, Chelsey, tell us a little bit about you, your whiskey history, your name on Instagram, so on and so forth.
Sure. So, yeah, Chelsey Uncharted. I think I started my page maybe a year and a half ago. I hadn't really been on social media much before then, and was just trying something new, and eventually landed in the whiskey community. I've been drinking whiskey off and on for maybe, I don't know, close to 20 years, Army times, in my early 20s, late teens, but not that that's legal, of course, but regardless. But it started with silly things like Southern Comfort and those not so tasty whiskeys, and eventually graduated from there. And probably the last 10 years or so, I've been collecting more respectable bottles and trying new things. So it's been good.
Excellent. Joe?
Well, I guess that I started, about 2003 or so. Was with the fire department at the time, and really didn't do a whole lot of drinking because of my role with the fire department. But then when I retired several years ago, really dove into things head first. Unfortunately, the rabbit hole I dove down was Scotch. And that's a very deep rabbit hole if nobody's looked at it. Just have expanded my personal stock, and Scotch has been my forefront, but getting into American single malts and ryes and bourbons, a lot of reasons just because they're different, and also availability.
Yeah. Well, excellent. And yes, the rabbit hole is rather large in Scotch, although I think the rabbit hole in any category is pretty large.
It can be, yes.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. Well, guys, go ahead. I think you opened up your samples. Go ahead, get started on sample number one, sniffing and tasting. I try to go about 15 minutes or so per sample, but if you need a little more time, no big deal. Just let me know when both of you guys are ready. And there's no rush when if one of you finishes early, the other one, take your time. No big deal. And I'm going to run down a little roll call. We got Smoked by Ash Joe here, as always, first in comments, waiting at 4:41 p.m. Patricia is in the house at 6:45. Love the dedication to the regulars here. Spicy Strawberry in the house. How you spice? We got Fast How 2 is here and early for the first time. Congratulations. Sugar Kitty, as usual. How you doing, Sugar Kitty? Brian in the house. What's up, Brian? We got Caesar here. It is a WAP Wednesday. You are correct. We got Whiskey Punkard in the house. Dan, how you doing? And there it is. Spicy, I am drinking Courage and Conviction, the Cuvée cask. Cuvée. What? Sugar Kitty will correct me on my pronunciation. She's good for that. Zach Andrews cheering Chelsey on. says sorry, Joe.
I get it.
Yeah, I think I might need more of the luck, so that's fine.
Like I said backstage, I'm hoping for just 2 or 3 points, and I'm good.
That's a good way to come into it, Joe. Just set the expectations low. You can't be disappointed then. We got a Moises in the house. How you doing, Moises? People in the chat like to hear tasty notes if you got them. If you don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Banter back and forth, absolutely okay.
Can I try to convince you this is a Scotch so that you guess wrong?
Go for it.
Sabotage is absolutely welcome as well.
I'm not sure, but I don't think it would work.
It's sorry, Sugar.
I don't think it would. This one's clearly not that.
Force of habit. It was so long that I until you corrected me the first time that I don't know if it's going to take a little while to get that out of my head.
Yeah, this one's got a little spice to it.
Very nice, Jeff. Nice dram. I think Joe knows that you're not a big fan of the Weeders, so he's suggesting that it's a Weeder.
I was sitting here thinking I'm not a huge fan of this, and I'm not sure if that's why. So I'm trying to pick that out.
And I am wearing my "Don't Be a Dick" shirt from Richards. Reminding you that anytime you go to any liquor store, don't be a dick. Unless you know them really well, then walk in and scream for the pappies. Where you got them pappies at? Zach is rooting for his fellow accountant. I'm assuming that's your day job, Chelsey?
Yep, I oversee accounting policy where I work, so lots of fun.
I was going to say that sounds really not super fun, but
yeah,
unless you really like that kind of stuff.
I really like my paycheck, so, and it's at least mildly interesting most days.
It's fun. Yes, I believe Pappy is now made in Austin on a big 40 something foot still named Nancy.
So for specific casking, if we don't think it's anything different from, well, never mind. I think I answered my own question.
Yeah. So like if you mean if you guess one thing for generic and you don't think you think it's still that when you get into specific, yeah, it's just same answer. Donald Brandt's in the house. How you doing, Donald? My personal Encyclopedia Britannica of everything imported whiskey.
See, I'm so thrown off by the weeded stuff now because if I don't like something, even if it's not because of wheat, I automatically think it's because of wheat.
You assume
like
that,
my mind has gone to if I think it's a bourbon and it's weeded, or I don't like it, then it must be weeded. But there are some bourbons I don't like just because I don't like them.
Way to go, Joe! You threw her off her game.
Man.
Not this Joe. Smoked by Ash Joe.
The other Joe.
With his weeder comment in there. Mo, I thought that said for a second there, I thought this said go, let's go Chiefs. And I was like, what? Nobody's playing tonight. Oof. Those are
like
fighting
it.
words, Jeff. Fighting words.
Oh, that's definitely not true. I like my scotch, so they can't be weeded.
Yeah, I think that's I'm thinking not well, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I'm kind of thinking a lot of people don't know that you actually do like scotch as well.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I like all categories. It just happens to be weeded bourbon that I'm not a fan of. I have found that I don't mind like the white winter wheat as much. Like if that's the primary versus red, it's not as offensive to me. Okay. So there's at least a couple pages of the whiskey list options that are all scotch. So I can go and scratch all those off.
How many I don't know this off the top of my head because I haven't printed it yet, but how many pages print with that list?
11.
It's like 8 for mine, the way it printed out. It might have just been smaller print though.
Yeah, I have to have bigger print so I can read it.
That's what happens when you get a little older.
It is.
All right, Donald. Sugar Kitty, explain Cameron Bridge. Wheat scotch. Single grain made out of wheat, I'm assuming. What else is everybody in the chat drinking tonight? Patty's at work, so she's not drinking yet. Donald's on call, so I'm thinking he's not having any. Okay. Makes sense. Mo is driving, so probably shouldn't be drinking. Ooh, spicy with the Curiosity 11, a brandy finished in a maple syrup barrel, I think. Brian just left Valentine Distillery. That's cool. Also driving, Dan. And Joe, how is, because you're kind of in a unique place in the States. You're on an island off the coast of Georgia. How is whiskey shopping? Do you have whiskey shops on the island, or do you have to come across?
No, we've got 3 here on the island. And yes, we're on an island, but it's only 2 miles to the mainland. Okay. So it's not a huge trek, but we've got three stores here on the island, moderate offerings, and then we've got about 10 stores on the mainland, and 2 of them have really good offerings of just about everything and reasonable prices. Of course, anything allocated is a crapshoot. Although we do have one store locally that, even with the allocated offerings, are just barely above MSRP.
Okay. Well, that's not bad.
A lot better than secondary market on a lot of stuff.
Sure. And you recently moved, Chelsey. So how are you finding things down there?
It's definitely different because it's controlled here. So we just have the ABC stores. So in St. Louis, I was used to all the local places that had good picks and things like that, and we just don't have that here.
No.
I've probably done more shopping from like Brownwater Select since I've been here than I have actually going into the stores. And they're the group that's local to the DC area.
Okay. Whiskey Franco joined us. What's up, buddy? Mo, when he gets home, is going to have some Baker's 7-year rye.
Mm.
I've seen that recently and kind of seems interesting. I want to say Richard's had one, Jeff. I'm not sure, though. All right. How are we doing here on the guesses, guys? You guys ready?
Yeah, I think I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Joe?
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, we are going to start with ladies first. So, Chelsey, run them down for me. Starting with generic category.
Okay. Bourbon. And 110. Generic casking new. Specific category, wheated bourbon.
Just going with it.
Specific proof 112. Specific casking, just new charred oak. And I'm just wild guessing on the distillery and bottle because there's just I haven't tried anything on this list, but I went with Lost Lantern White Wheat, and I forget because they pull from other distilleries, so I don't.
Right.
I
Okay.
can't remember if they use multiple or not. So do I just pick one that they might use?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with Westland.
Perfect. Joe, go ahead, sir.
All right. All right. Well, we're close on some, but different on others. I'm going with a rye.
Chelsea's rye.
109 proof.
109.
New casking. And then specific will be a straight rye. Specific proof is 110.4. New charred oak. And for my distillery guess, and that's what it is, it's a Willet. The FE 4-year rye.
Got it. All right. Good guesses all the way through. Go ahead and we can pop into sample number 2.
This one's interesting.
Interesting good or interesting bad?
I like it. I just don't know that I've tasted anything quite like it before.
Hey, Corey, thanks for coming in. Whoa. Doggo.
Yeah,
Uh,
apartment living with dogs, fun stuff.
Nobody will be upset about the dogs.
Yeah. Ziggy. He's alerting me to danger.
They are good for that.
There might be a small child walking by.
There was a strange noise 3 blocks away. I must warn you. So I got a picture today from one of the guys that works at my local store. And there is a 4 Roses single barrel OBSK. So I don't know if that's the standard single barrel shelfer recipe. I don't think it is, but it has a different label. It's very bright red and lot more paper on it than this one. So I don't know if that's something new or if it's special labeling for the season. Or if because I don't think they went and did a pick for 4 Roses. I'm pretty sure they didn't do that. I think I would have heard about that.
It's my understanding that they're opening up the other recipes to their single barrel bottlings now.
The other animals are getting involved.
Yeah. Joe's dog barked back. That's good. Jason Coates in the house. How you doing, Jason? Thanks for popping in. You guys are a lot more calm and reserved compared to some of the other guests that we've had on.
Well, we're professionals.
I like that. I like the professionalism.
We'll say, is that a bad thing?
No.
I think he's telling us that we're boring. That's
No,
what he's
you are not
I
boring.
do think this is going to be one of the more boring shows he's done.
This one's a little bit tricky. I'm trying to figure out specific casking.
That is the goal for me to stump you guys on these. So
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, that sounds fantastic. Actually, wasn't. I'm sure it was their source stuff that they put into a gin barrel. Probably their gin barrel, though. Yeah, because 11 years, that seems a little old for their own stuff. This 4 Roses is really a different beast. Excellent. Okay, Jason, is that what I was just asking about? Is it new labeling, like really a lot of bright red and such? Let me see if I can do this here. We're going to try to play techie here real quick. I'm not techie at all. So I'm going to see if I can get this picture from my phone. Somebody text me to share on screen here.
Yeah, there'll be some wild guesses on this one. Very wild guesses.
OESK, Jeff. OESK. Okay. And then, yeah, then the recipe big on the neck label. Let's see. 10 over.
They're growling again. Here they go.
Just about to let it go. Oh, there it is. I'm going to see if this works now. All right. So here is what I was talking about.
Oh, yeah, it is different.
So Jason, you seem to know what that is. Is that very similar to the standard Shelfer single barrel, but now they just opened up the other recipes to that option?
You still hear them?
I don't hate bourbon. I do drink it. It's just, it's got to be bourbon that impresses me. That's all. Whiskey Shaman in the house. How you doing, Whiskey Shaman? For my moderators that are here, please drop the links for Chelsea's Instagram, Joe's Instagram. Joe, I think you do actually have a YouTube, don't you? That you use?
I'm working on it. I've finally decided that I needed to do that. So right now there are no videos uploaded to it, but they're coming. It's just a big jump to go from Instagram to video.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to try to do any editing, that can be a little overwhelming.
Really?
At least for me. I mean,
it's very. I'm being facetious. It's very. Yeah.
It may be one of those things. Once I dive into it, that it's not an issue. It's just from the outside looking in, it's a little ominous.
Yeah, and I guess the best way to say it is set your expectations right off the get-go. How much editing do you want to do? Do you want more realistic camera and video, or do you want a lot of edited stuff? And then kind of go from there, because that'll give you the idea of what you want to do for an editing program or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Jeff here he's got a pretty sizable channel of his own here, Fast How To, and editing is always an issue. Always an issue. While you guys are dropping links, I'm going to as well drop a little sponsorship ad. So here we go while you guys are doing So Richard's Liquors, sponsors of the show. And yes, I understand they are in Wisconsin. No, they do not ship outside of the state, nor do they ship inside of the state. But Wisconsin is a travel destination, and a trip to Wisconsin is not complete without a stop there. So please put that on your list. Make it a priority.
Always make whiskey stops when you travel.
You know, that's the thing. It's like for me, anytime I go anywhere, whether it's on a whiskey trip or not, like the part of the excitement is to go to different stores that I've never been to and see what stuff is available in different places. Even if it's in the same state and I'm going to a town that I've never been to, I scope out, see what's around. Yeah. And I find that to be really fun.
I do the same thing, and I've actually found that sometimes the little hole in the wall stores in small towns that nobody stops at can sometimes have a gem sitting on the shelf that's been there for a little while, and they're tickled to death to get rid of it.
Yeah, they're excited when you pick up that one that's got an inch of dust on it.
That's right. That's got a 10-year-old price tag on it that they hadn't updated.
Rough spirits in the house. Hey, buddy. Yes, Joe. It is a travel destination. Lots of people like to travel to Wisconsin. In fact, I read a book last night to my 6-year-old about Santa visiting Wisconsin on his summer break. So there you go.
Well, if you read it, it's got to be true.
I mean, it's printed. So you can't really deny it. See, Corey knows. Richards is not too far from the Dells, buddy. All right, how we doing on this sample, guys?
Doing good. I'm ready for some wild guesses.
Chelsey's ready. Joe, you ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, Joe, we're going to start with you this time. So generic category, run them down.
Generic category, bourbon, 112 proof, new. And moving into specific, I'm going to go with a high rye bourbon, staying with 112 proof, new charred oak, Buffalo Trace the distillery, and Stag Junior the bottling.
Very good. And Chelsey.
We are wildly different. So I don't know whose taste buds are off, but I've got a completely different list here. I went single malt, 115, new for casking, specific category ASM, specific proof 113. I guess that was close, Joe. At least we think it's of roughly the same strongness there.
Right.
That's pretty close.
Specific casking, new oak. And I just had to pick a random ASM off the list because I just don't have any for reference. But I said the Tattersall Interstate ASM for distillery and bottle.
My house is making very odd noises. We're getting a major temperature dip. I left work at 4:30. It was 12 degrees. At 5 o'clock, it was 7. And at 6 o'clock, it was now almost into the 5s. It was like 6.1. And I'm betting it's quite a bit colder now since we started the show.
Yeah, we've got some.
And you said the Interstate single malt.
Yeah.
Tattersall Interstate single malt. Okay. Perfect. Excellent. All right. Go ahead and get into sample number 3. whack the mic with that paper there. Sorry, guys. All right, where are we at in the chat? That's because you live here, dude. I don't disagree with that statement, but you do live here, so. In fact, I like traveling from Wisconsin when everybody else is traveling into Wisconsin. Seems to be the best time to leave. Ouch, dude. Ouch. I don't think they wrote a book about him going to Detroit, though. Just saying. Yeah, Corey, I think you lucked out on the timing of your trip because it was actually really nice while you were here. Yeah, now I'm curious. Jeff is about a little shy of 2 hours south of me, and it's 0 for him. Oh yeah, we're at -1 already.
That's crazy.
Okay, I'll let y'all hate. It's 57 here.
I think it's cold.
Yeah,
here.
I enjoy the cold weather, so -2 now.
Not that cold.
So yesterday I heard the weather report, and they were talking about it was going to be brutal cold, like air temp -20 today. And then I got a new weather report that I looked at today, and it was supposed to be 2 degrees, and I'm like, that's weak. Tell him, Patty, get him. Yes. Corey's not wrong. And, well, normally I could say something like, Super Bowl victories and stuff like that, but I think they might change that this year, to be honest with you. It hurts me to say that, but they're a tough team this year. And Mike is in the house. Thanks, Whiskey Addict. Appreciate it. Yes, everybody, hit that thumb on the way out or on the way in, or kill the chat and hit it now, whatever you want to do. Hit that sub button if you haven't already, and the bell to know when the lives come up. Where are we at? Well, we have sample 3 already. Feels good. Actually, Corey, it doesn't matter. Hit a thumb. The interaction counts. Shanks 2024. Did you get that on Brown Friday, Jeff? No, I don't think you did. Maybe you did. I don't remember now.
Yeah, this is a weird one because I am wavering on just the generic category even. But once I get past that, I feel like I'm very sure about everything else.
Okay.
Which of course is, based off that first decision, which might be wrong. So we'll see. I have not been drinking enough, apparently.
Yeah, you've been busy lately.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah. I'll move to a new city, new job. It's been hectic.
And as Sugar Kitty says, feel free to lick the like and like the lick.
Lick it.
I had to think about that for a second or two before I actually said it, because one of those tongue twisters, if you don't understand what you're trying to say. Weird things can come out trying to say that sentence. And the snozberries do taste like snozberries.
Never had snozberry, so that doesn't help.
You haven't lived yet then, Joe. Yeah, you haven't lived until you've had a snozberry. Did Martin leave? I thought for sure when Martin came in, the chat was going to get real feral, and it didn't.
That's his favorite word.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is his favorite word. It's fitting, also. But. All right. While you guys are going through that, I got two more sponsors to thank. So, on Bourbon with Friends podcast, our friends over there join Brian, Adrian, and Martin on the Bourbon with Friends podcast while they talk to many amazing guests about all things whiskey and spirits related. And then how a bourbon with friends can change the world. Find Bourbon with Friends on all the places that you can find podcasts on, and they are also on YouTube. So check them out, guys. And 10th Mountain Whiskey. 10th Mountain Whiskey, Vail, Colorado. Visit them at 10thwhiskey.com or visit them in person in Vail. But they are making whiskey in the form of rye, bourbon, and American single malt. Also, they're making brandies, cordials, moonshine, and a potato vodka that I hear is pretty darn good. They do a lot of stuff for charity and a lot of veteran philanthropy. So very cool company to support. They are shipping to 41 states. Distribution is constantly growing. So if you have a local store that you would like to go to and want to see them there, ask them to start carrying them, and they may be able to do so. So 10th Mountain Whiskey, thank you for being a sponsor. And yeah, guys, check them out, 10thwhiskey.com. There he is. Little words of wisdom from the reigning champ.
Buffalo Trace, hilarious.
We did have a Buffalo Trace guest earlier.
We did.
Little Stag Jr. in the mix. That's okay. There's a chance I might be mixing up my ASMs and ryes tonight, so we'll see.
It happens sometimes. Spicy attacking Martin's stamina. I feel like he's heard that before. Oh. Yeah, collusion. Oh man, there we go. See, the Martin comment just bursted the chat to life. Yeah, you know, that's funny that you say that, Corey. That's exactly what it is. It's tater vodka. I think tater is That's not what I said, and you know it. Ooh, there's a good. That's a great comment. That's in response to your mixing up ASM and Rise, I think. Just for you, Martin. Blue chew. All right. And let me know when you're ready. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's go.
Chelsea's ready. Joe's ready. Okay.
Ready for more wild guesses.
Let's see what we got. Chelsea, we're going to start with you this time again.
Okay. Generic category rye. Proof 120. Generic casking new and used. Specific category finished rye. Proof 121. Gosh, and this is the one that I went back and forth on. Specific casking, is brandy specific enough, or do you need more specific than that?
Don't. So your generic was new and used. So you want to go new and brandy?
Yeah, for the used.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go with Starlight Calvados finished rye, BSG. Yeah, definitely not Malort. I'm pretty sure something that vial would have stood out a little more.
I was surprised there hadn't been a Malort reference yet, but there it is. Joe, go ahead.
All right. Well, I'll start by saying that our answers are totally different on this one also. But I'm second guessing my thoughts, but I'm going to go ahead with what I have written down.
Don't let my false confidence sway you.
Generic category, single malt. Generic proof, 105. Generic casting, new and used. I think it's specific as American single malt. We'll stay with the 105 proof. New charred oak and used port cask. Copper Fox is the distillery, and their ASM port finish is the bottling.
I'm going to be really mad. That's the one here in Virginia.
It is in Virginia, yes.
And I was just there a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to be really mad if that's actually that bottle, because I would have had that.
You were there, and I saw your pictures, and I was so jealous because I really, really want to visit that place.
Well, when I couldn't quite place it, and I don't think it was the port finish, but that was the only one that I could kind of fit in there. I was trying to think maybe a cognac or a brandy.
Yeah.
But I'd already gone down the line of single malts, and that's where I ended up.
Well, and that's what I was saying with that first category. I wasn't sure. I was thinking rye or single malt, but the finish is throwing me off.
Yep.
And that's where I was trying to figure out where to go to from there. So we'll see.
Okay. Is there a sample? Well, just ask this. Joe, what was your favorite of the three samples?
I knew you were going to ask that question. I'm going to go with number 2.
Number 2 is Joe's favorite.
Mine too.
Chelsea's favorite is number 2. Excellent. I like it. Which is even funnier.
Why? Because it's a weeded something that I missed.
No. So you guys
that's
both
one
scored.
that we were totally different on, except for the proof point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you both scored almost exactly the same points on that.
Huh.
Right up until the bitter end, when Chelsea said the distillery. So Chelsea landed the distillery on sample number 2.
Awesome.
But we will start with sample number 2 on the reveal here. So let me run that over. All right. So Chelsey, you said single malt. Joe, you said bourbon. Neither one of you are taking a point. It is actually a rye. Chelsey, you said 115 for proof. Joe, you said 112. It is actually 50% or 100 proof, right on the money. So no points there. Generic casking, you both said new. It is actually new and used. Specific category, Chelsey, you said ASM. Joe, you said high rye bourbon. It is a finished rye. Proof is at 50% or 100 proof. So you guys guessed 113 for Chelsey, 112 for Joe. So no points there. You both stuck with the new casking on specific. It is actually a port finished. Chelsey, you said the distillery, guessing a different bottle, but you did get the distillery. It is a Tattersall port finished rye. Where's my, there we go. I hate working backwards.
The thing that I am least likely to get right, I guess. Just, that is just a wild guess.
I was pretty floored when you said that. And Joe, you said Buffalo Trace Stag Jr. And then you said the Interstate American Single Malt for the bottle. So that is 2 points for Chelsea, and Joe went on a goose egg on that one. So that being said, we will move into sample number 1. I would be shocked to hear if you guys haven't had this sample yet. Oh, before we go any farther, you guys ended up tying completely score-wise over the whole 3 samples. So I need your age guess, and we will do, obviously we can't do sample number 2. Well, I didn't tell you how old it was.
Yeah, you didn't tell us.
I'm going to let the chat pick because I have the exact age on all 3 of these samples, which is rare. Chat, put in the comments sample 1, 2, or 3 to use for the age on the tiebreaker. I would prefer not sample 2 because we already talked about it.
3, they're saying.
Looks like 3 is going to be the winner. Well, we got Marshall being the oddball. We have 9 for sample 3 out of 16 people, so we're going to go with sample number 3.
Okay.
All right. So, do you guys have the private chat tab?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
cool. Just send me a private chat with your age guess for sample number 3. And I will look at it later.
Oh no. We have the same guess. And we said that at the same time.
Yes.
Can you, you guys can see it.
Yeah,
it's not very private, is it?
It's for all 3 of us.
Okay. All right. I didn't know how that worked. Nobody's ever used it.
We're tying
All right.
again. I guess we go with number 1.
Yep. Go with number 1.
And how do you want to do this?
Well, we can do it the same way and just hope we didn't guess the same again.
Do it the same way.
Okay.
Okay, good. We're good. We didn't guess the same.
Ooh. All right. So we're going to go through sample number 1. And I'm completely shocked. I would be completely shocked if you guys have not actually had this one before. Chelsey, you said bourbon. Joe, you said rye. Joe, you actually took a point on that. It is a rye. Proof-wise, you guys were really close. 110 for Chelsey, 109 for Joe. It is actually quite a bit lower. It's at 92.8 proof. You both said new oak, so you both take a point for that because it is new oak. Chelsey, you said weeded bourbon. Joe, you said straight rye. It is a straight rye. So 1 point for Joe there. You guys kept your proof relatively same. 112 for Chelsey, 110.4 for Joe. It is at 92.8 proof, so no points there. Specific casking, you still both said new, so you both got a point on that one. Chelsey, you said the Lost Lantern White Winter Wheat, which actually would have been the Cedar Ridge Distillery. Joe, you said Willett Family Estate 4-year rye. You both get 2 points on that because this distillery is undisclosed. They will not tell you who it is. There's speculation out there on who it is, but they will not tell you who actually made this juice. So I can't expect you guys to know who it is because I don't know who it is. But the exact bottle is the Michter's 10-year rye. And this is on 2023. So not that that matters, but the speculation is that Brown Foreman actually distilled that stuff. I don't know how much truth there is to it because nobody can say for sure 100% that's what it is. So on that sample, with that 2 points for both of you on the distillery guess, Chelsey, you have 4. Joe, you have 6.
All right. Oh, for points. Gotcha.
Points, which leads us to sample number 3. And you guys right now, your samples 1 and 2 are both at 6 points. That means there was 0 points scored all the way through sample number 3.
Oh boy, we're doing great.
If you're on a different path than where it is, it's super easy to be wrong. So, Chelsey, you said rye. Joe, you said single malt. It is actually a bourbon.
Oh, wow.
Chelsey, you said 120, which was actually pretty close. Joe, you said 105. It's actually at 117.6. So you're like 4/10 off of getting a point for that one, Chelsey. So that was a pretty good guess. You both said new and used, which is really interesting to me because I do like this bourbon because of some of its weird fruitiness that it's got. And it isn't finished. It is just a new oak cask. But it does have this weird fruitiness. Brandy and port both. Yeah. I could see totally thinking that. So I think that's really cool that you guys pick up on that. Specific category, Chelsey, you said finished bourbon. Joe, you said ASM. It is actually a straight bourbon. Yeah, this is this one. Okay. Exact specific proof, we said 117.6 proof. Chelsey, you were at 121. Joe, you were at 105. Chelsey, you went new in brandy. Joe, you went new in port. Exact distillery, Chelsey, you said Starlight. Joe, you said the Copper Fox. And exact bottle, you said the Calvados finished Starlight. And Joe, you said the Copper Fox port finished ASM. It is actually Rocktown Distilling in the Lost Lantern bottle. So the mash bill on this, Chelsey, if you would like to know, I don't know if you like this one or not, but it is 82% corn, 9% wheat, and 9% barley. And it is, I think this is sample 3. It is 4 years old. You both guessed 4 years old.
Yeah, that one's okay.
So it's not much wheat. And I don't know specifically what type of wheat. It doesn't say. Arkansas growing wheat. That's all it says. But
I don't know much about Rocktown. I have looked at some of Lost Lantern stuff when they include wheated in their mixes, and sometimes it is that white winter wheat. But I don't know about this one specifically. But I wouldn't say that the wheat stood out in that. It wasn't my favorite, but it was still decent.
So you both guessed 4 years of age on that one. So you both were right on. So we would have had to break it anyways. And for sample number 1, Chelsey, you said 6 years. Joe, you said 4 years again. So Chelsey, you were closer to the 10-year age statement on that. So you are going to take the point on that one, which means it is a final of 7-6 in favor of Chelsey.
Congratulations, Chelsey.
I'm good at wild guesses, apparently.
I feel like those were. So when I looked at those, I said, "Boy, this is kind of an easy sample set because it's American whiskey for one. There was only one finish in it, and that. But then as you guys are going through these, I'm like, realistically, those are some. I mean that Michter's 10-year rye is very light rye. It's not. It doesn't present very rye heavy at all.
No, it did not.
And color on it does not suggest 10 years old.
Nope.
In America for sure. The Rocktown has that weird fruitiness that I really enjoy, and that presents as a finish. And the color on that also presents as very old, like it's been in the barrel for a long time, and it has been. And then that port finished rye, I think, is just I really enjoy that whiskey. I think it's great. As far as port finish ryes go, and you two pulling that out as your favorite sample really kind of made me happy because that is a Wisconsin distillery.
And that's a weird one for me because I typically don't like port finishes, but I don't know that I've had a rye finish, port finish. So it's a little bit, I think that added spice makes the port more palatable for me.
And I think that added spice from that rye is what gave you your bump in proof level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too.
So, with that, we have Chelsey as a winner. I'm just going to try to catch up on the chat here. I don't know what they're talking about. Pie. Hitter. Oh, hitter, not Hitler. Caesar had the same thought. Rocktown, yes, that's an awesome bourbon. If some of that's left from Lost Lantern, that is definitely an awesome bourbon. I really enjoy that one. And you guys are getting it at a good level on the bottle too, because I mean it's not like I just opened it. It's been open for a little while. I do enjoy this one a lot.
Yeah, that was good.
So, Chelsey, that means you move on. I did put out the schedule, and I had to make a change because Adam was not available for his original date. So I just switched the 2 January days. So you are up next January 15th.
Okay.
So I hope that's far enough in advance to kind of make sure that you're good for that. If something changes, let me know.
Yeah, I should be good.
But you will be going up against Whiskey Care, so Megan. So it'll be a girl fight on January 15th, which is awesome.
There we go.
I was really happy to see that the female presence in this season was much stronger than it was last season. And I'm happy to see that they're moving forward too, because that's definitely awesome.
Happy to participate.
Yeah,
I'll have to make sure I get you my new address.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, when it comes time to start sending that stuff out, I will make sure I have your good address.
Yeah.
So, all right. And I need something in the glass. We'll do a little Rocktown to cheers out with. But congratulations, both of you. Good stuff. It is definitely a lot more difficult than it sounds, and a humbling experience for sure. And everybody in the chat, thank you guys for tuning in, watching, hitting that like, subscribe button, all that good stuff. Thank you to Richard's Liquors, 10th Mountain Whiskey, and the Bourbon with Friends podcast. And until tomorrow, when we have Mr. 10th Mountain Whiskey himself and Bourbon with Friends podcast, Brian D. Whiskey, and a newcomer, La Purifoy, who just kind of wanted to join in on the fun. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. And until then, cheers to this American spirit.